Howdy, Miss Hefner's class. It's Ms. Fecto again, and I'm here to show you the databases. I'm going to briefly look at the databases that you are probably all familiar with, and then show you a new one that is particularly useful for what you're doing for this research paper. So we're going to start again at BHS Online about our school library resources. To get to the databases, you click on the link that says Access Databases here, and blammo. Okay, the list comes up, and for what I call the sweet spot of American history, when you're doing the essentially the 20th century stuff, there are a lot of different ones. Usually I start right off at U.S. history and context, but because of your the breadth of topics that you have, there's a lot you can do. Say that you're looking at the Dust Bowl. You could look at agriculture. If you're looking at a specific individual and their impact on history, you could go to biography and context. There are things about business, communication and mass media, criminal justice, diversity, economics, environmental studies. All of these little mini databases will have things that might be of interest. Military and intelligence, if you're doing anything on any of the wars or conflicts. Opposing viewpoints looks at issues that are a little more, well, I can't think of the word, but where they oppose each other, where there's some sort of, conflict. Then we've got pop culture studies. If you're looking at, how music impacted the Vietnam War, um, the resistance to the war, there would be stuff in there. Religion and philosophy, psychology, science, war and terrorism, definitely going to be robust for you. And then finally, U.S. history. I'm just going to click on this to give you the look of it. It should be familiar at this point. If you are, some certain things like people have asked about 9/11, it's hard to know how to type in a topic. This actually uses the numbers 9/11. It's not coming up, but you can also browse topics. And by browsing topics, say you want to look at the Peace Corps, say you're interested in Betty Friedan and feminism in the 50s and 60s. If you want to look at the ACLU or Maya Angelou, okay, any of these things have collections. So let's say that you want to look at the Teapot Dome scandal. Wow, that's a very specific thing, but really interesting. Warren G. Hardie, that guy was a crook. All right, so this tells you about the Teapot Dome scandal, gives you featured content, it gives you reference books, and usually, like if you look up World War II, there's going to be 347 reference books. This is a nice way to narrow your topic because it gives you a very specific number of resources to sort through for this. So let's say that you want to do something on Teapot Dome versus scandals that are going on now. You can click on this, scandals involving the U.S. government and big business. Read this, see if it has what you're interested in, and then down at the bottom, here's your citation. Again, Turabian in Chicago, same thing. You click on that, and that's your link. When you're saving things to your Google Doc where you have all your resources, save this rather than the URL because it gives you more robust information. You have the URL embedded in here anyway. So this is kind of very cursory look at Gale. You should have been using it for the past 2 years. If you have any questions, you can come find me or Ms. Hoeffner, and we can help you with this. Now, what I want to show you is another database called JSTOR. It's under the Boston Public Library. We don't have licenses for this. Beverly Public doesn't. It's an expensive database, and you're going to need an e-card to use it. Now, to get an e-card, if you go to Services, down here to e-cards, and then register or renew an e-card, you click on that. And you just go through here, it'll open up a pop-up. And as long as you live in Massachusetts, you can get one. You have to give them your name, your address, and an email address. I would use the school email address just so that, you look professional or what have you. It's just to prove that you are a resident. So usually I would say don't give your personal information over the internet. But if you can't trust the Boston Public Library, who can you trust? Anyway, they will give you an e-card, and then you are able to go into their online resources, and the one that you're looking for is JSTOR. There are a bunch of different ones. Well, that's a little early for you, but 19th century, well, again, too early. There are a ton of different ones that you can look at. It's definitely worth your time to sort of sort through, particularly if you have a really interesting topic that you're looking at. But for our purposes, we're going to look at JSTOR. So once you click on that, you put in your Boston Public Library card and your PIN number, and you can go in. And then you search just like you search anything. I'm going to look at, let's see, she's not 20th century. We'll look at Alice Paul. She's got, well, why don't I learn how to spell Alice Paul? A-L-I-C-E, Paul. Now, I don't know. Her names are kind of common, so there might be more that come up. Yeah, we've got 96,000. That's a lot. Now, you can refine. You can look at publication dates. You can look at other things. It always cracks me up that there are 252 places where Alice Paul intersects with aquatic sciences. But I'm not going to click on that. Let's look at this one. This is a journal article about the Great Suffrage Parade of 1913 in Washington, D.C. So you click on that. You are going to find in JSTOR, they will often have book reviews. Those are helpful for finding books, but generally not helpful for things that are quotable resources for your paper. You want articles. So this is a 22-page article. It's quite dense, and the information looks like it's here. So this is the stuff that you will need. Oh, actually, if you click right here, you can cite it, and there's your citation in the Chicago Tribune. Now, you can download the PDF, which I recommend you do. That way you've got it. You can look through it at your leisure. It takes a little while. JSTOR definitely keeps their stuff moving slowly for a purpose. They don't want people downloading a ton of stuff over and over. And this is a paid subscription database. The Boston Public Library pays for the subscription, for the licenses, they're called. So occasionally you might try to get in and not be able to get in. That means that all the licenses are being used. That tends to happen in the evenings and late at night when students are getting their ducks in a row and starting their work. So if you go in during the school day, I've never had a problem getting in during the school day. You can download your information and then you have it to work with whenever you want. Okay? And then if you're just taking a gander, oh, there she is. Thanks, Alice, for the vote and all. Okay, so there's your article. You saw the citation. That's JSTOR. It's worth looking into. All right, that's it for databases. There are also some more at the Beverly Public Library and the local colleges and universities. Don't forget that they have a lot of resources you can use too. All right, I'm going to do a wee little bit of the internet after this, and then you'll be done.